on that after we get back from August. So now we wait for another month. You
Well,
know,
do you think that well, what do you think about the Obama and the Hillary Clinton stuff now?
oh, that was just obvious.
Yeah, but what if like
They ain't gonna do nothing to them. They aren't
yeah,
going to jail. They're gonna get a
no,
slap
no,
on the wrist and told you
nobody no
aren't allowed to
matter
hang out no more.
nobody no matter what is. But like what if the Epstein list just starts like happening without there being just like a list in front of you? Like they just start going through everybody.
Right?
But I don't think
I doubt they will. I don't think that they're ever going to mention a single name. They don't want to bring anybody down that has any kind of infrastructure. You got to think about this. A lot of those people on that list are infrastructure people. They're people, if you take them out and their companies collapse, we're seeing a worldwide collapse, man. If you took out all the people that were on that list, you're going to see a worldwide financial and infrastructure collapse in no time flat. Like, it would be crazy.
I just can't believe that he
Yeah,
gets.
I don't believe anything. I don't believe I don't believe anything anymore.
I'm
Like,
still
No?
watch it.
What's
no,
that?
I
Kid?
don't believe
I'm gonna
any of
watch
it.
it.
Right? We all want to see it.
I'm gonna watch it. They're going after Obama right now. That's kind of wild.
Yeah,
I mean,
they're throwing
every
him like
like
through the ringer.
look,
It's kind of
it's
funny.
just like Harvey Weinstein or P. Diddy. You'll serve your purpose for the trust fund dorks until they either put you through a humiliation ritual or decide to broom you. Like, I mean, you're just fodder for their use, and that's whoever's at the top. We don't really know. We don't trust me. The people that are running the show, we don't know their names. We do not know who they are. They are they are above all of these people we know pay grade.
They ain't
And
even in the yellow pages, man. You ain't finding these people.
yeah, these are old banking families of Venice, Italy, and Europe, and you don't know who these
Yeah,
people
they
are.
make the Rothschilds look like,
The Rothschilds are like their accountants. Like,
right.
you know what I mean? Like they're like, oh, the Rothschilds are this and that, the Rockefellers are this and that. But yeah, those are powerful people. And in the billionaire club, everyone's got some crazy things that they own,
Well,
right?
my thing
Whether
right
you're
now,
the
guys, my thing right now is what I'm into is AI, right? I'm into AI, and I've even got my own machine right here that runs my own AI. The reason I bring that up is because we're talking about powerful people and the things that they let us have and let us play with. If they're letting me play with this and design my own agents and build my own little AIs, what the hell? You're right. Nothing's real no more. Nothing's real no more. Like, if you look and see it online, if you think that you're playing with the latest video creator from AI, you're insane. The stuff they have just completely simulates their whole lives. So you never even see anybody anymore, man. Like, not
You
real people. Go ahead, Caitlin.
have you ever seen the Cognify video on YouTube?
Yeah.
You
what's
have.
that?
It's like the prison sentence of the future where they're just gonna put you like in a pod and they're gonna like
It's a whole like desert of pods, and you just live in the pod.
yeah, and
And
you're gonna serve like 1 to 2 minutes in there, but they're going to like fabricate memories into your brain that either make you feel like sympathy or make you feel what you made somebody else feel, or just make your whole memory of your past totally different.
right, like that episode of Black Mirror where the dude's sitting there like talking with that guy in the old cabin in the middle of the snowy wilderness. And then it flips and he comes back and he's talking to him again. And then he comes back and he's talking. And it turns out it's all in their heads for years and years and years, but it's only been 5 minutes.
It just makes you wonder if we did something really bad and we're just like all in Cognify serving a prison sentence.
But yet with a little bit of
Really,
freedom,
really,
can you make the right decisions this time around? We're
yeah,
gonna let you kind of do your own
we're
thing,
gonna
but
teach empathy by doing all of the like all this stuff around you, plus the the whole world, like everything that's going on with the whole world and every just like this crazy intricate story. And I don't know.
Right.
Who knows?
It's gotten, I mean, just the point to where I can code and I can't code, you know, and we're all laughing in our world saying we're all devs now. We're all developers. It doesn't matter who you are. If you can think of it, you can create it by telling AI, make this for me. And then you just copy the code over, launch it, and there you go. You got whatever you want. You don't need Google Play Store. No, this is the cool part. You don't need Google Play, Apple Store. You don't need any of that no more. You just make your own apps and put them up on your own phone, and it's completely disconnected from any main lines. You know what I mean? You're not giving over data. And that's the biggest thing. But is it really? Is the AI not maybe putting in a little bit of a something that reports and says, hey guys, you know, like this is what this person's doing with this app they made? You know what I mean?
I made this poster with AI.
It does because it reported somebody to the police.
Right.
For talking to, like, a ChatGPT reported somebody to the police for talking about a crime that they committed with the chatbot.
See, my phone started listening because I said Google Play, and then it started recording everything we were saying.
Have you guys ever seen the CERN ceremonies that they do at CERN before they turn on, where they're all dancing with the goat heads on and shit and fucking like acting out some sort of weird like occultic like play, but like the main person's wearing a goat head and they're running around and like slashing at other dancers and fairy type looking things, and it's so fucking nuts, man. And this is supposed to be the world's most famous, most brilliant science lab in the world that's built right over top of the ancient spot where Abaddon is supposed to come out of the bottomless pit. And they tell you that they're making contact with entities, you know, while they like throw that in there real quick while they're like, oh yeah, we're working on this and we're working on that. And then next week we hope to make contact with some entities, you know, like they just like, they always throw that in there real quick, but it's really weird. I encourage people to look.
Yeah, one of the scientists flat out said that they had interdimensional beings coming through the portals that
they made contact with the interdimensional beings.
Yeah,
that's
thank you.
Much what he said.
And that's just nuts in itself. You know, I mean, we all know that when we were kids and we got our hands on a Ouija board, and our parents, like, it's passed down through it's just knowledge that is just always passed down. It says, hey man, you know, my mom was like, you don't mess with that stuff. You don't ever try to think that you can talk with a demon and win, you know? And it's like, well, you know, I mean, technically, if you use the power of the Bible, you can totally just play basketball with the demon and, you know, tell them to piss off. You know, it don't matter. Like it's the people that aren't aware that are being affected by that. But as far as spirituality and like spirits and things like that go, what gets me is like the good and bad spirits that are all aware of what we're doing, but we're not aware of what they're doing. And are there helpers out there, and are there not helpers? And if there's helpers, then why, you know, it's kind of like people going back to the whole God theory. Why do bad things happen then? You know, if there's helpers out there, go ahead.
There has to be both.
Real quick, this guy that's a demon researcher, but he's an atheist. He said something very right, which I was like, how the fuck do you I don't he doesn't believe in God,
at least he's not biased, right? He's not being biased.
But he believes and studies demons and entities, but he doesn't believe that there's a all-powerful supreme being that's created everything, right? But he believes in spiritual entities, right? And this is exactly what he said. He says, I don't subscribe to Jesus, but for some reason, these things react very negatively to his name. And I'm just like, what the fuck are you fucking saying? Listen to yourself. Listen, you're an atheist demonologist that's admitting that that saying the name Jesus holds some sort of power over these demons, even though you don't subscribe to that. Like that's a very, very peculiar admission. You know
Right.
what I mean? Like that's like someone that's got no skin in the game.
There's a guy that works for MUFON, which is kind of like a database for people that have had like UFO experiences or any kind of experience with aliens. My dog's driving me crazy, guys. But he was
Aliens.
any kind of UFO experience, any kind of experience or missing time or whatever. But anyway, he was an atheist, and he was saying that after years and years and years of hearing stories, he started picking up the Bible because he realized that the only thing that ever stopped an experience was mentioning Jesus Christ.
I believe it.
I think it's a powerful sigil all in itself.
Mhm.
The name in itself.
And even if it's not as real, this is what I've really pondered. It's like even if his name has been changed and messed with over time, and it was Yeshua or Yahshua or whatever, and saying Jesus is really a play on Jesus, which is some trust fund dork etymology fuckery, right? And we don't know it. But in my opinion, it doesn't matter because our intention is with good versus evil.
Yeah. It
right?
doesn't matter what anybody turns
Like
any
this
word
is-
into. It's what your intent is on it.
Right.
And
I really do believe that's
unfortunately for them,
very
it
true.
didn't work out in their favor because the majority of population that picked up Jesus as a person picked him up in a good way and believe in goodwill using his name, you know? So it kind of, if that was their intention, it sort of backfired on them. I know they wanted the symbology there, whatever. It just didn't work for them. You know, it didn't work out in their favor. I mean, we're talking public knowledge is just coming out in the last like 5 to 10 years where we got the internet and we can start informing Christians, hey, you've been duped. You're not duped
These guys
by the
are still
story,
running-
but duped by the names and the way that they categorize things because they want you to follow these paganistic rituals, you know? So they need you to keep practicing that. So they just overlaid it with this to hopefully get you to flow along. And, you know, I mean, it's been going on for long enough. And now everybody gets to talk about it and everybody's getting it thrown in their face. And kind of like when stuff comes out to light, then it just don't make a difference anymore. You know what I mean? So kind of like nothing they can do about it.
What about another thing that I thought that was interesting? And I'm just kind of just throwing a bunch of like weird shit out there that I think is really interesting, whether it's demonology or UFOs or aliens, which I do believe is just rebranding, is just Crowley's rebranding of demons and other type of entities, by the way. But one thing I thought that was really interesting is that in a lot of Bigfoot and Dogman stories of people seeing Dogman or Bigfoot in the woods, they remember clearly hearing a large metal slamming door in the woods.
Yeah.
Like you're shutting like a huge safe that's really oiled up or something and you could just slam it. You know what I mean? And it's so fucking loud. And they're like, what the fuck is that? And
they make when they come in and out.
I don't know. I just think that's really interesting that more than several people report hearing a metal door slamming either before or after they saw this thing in the woods.
A metal door. Well, there's been a lot of there. I mean, we just went through a crap load there over the last year and a half of it was longer than that. It was back when we were all doing the podcast together with the discovery of like the mountainsides with the freaking stone doors, and you know, everybody was finding these little doors all over the place. There was that guy that saw the giant up on the top of that mountain, and then all of a sudden he comes up missing, you know,
right.
And all of this stuff
allegedly
allegedly, yes, but
Yeah,
no,
we don't know that guy. I mean, he could be fucking like, hey, you're gonna disappear from TikTok and you got to stay at home and barbecue now. I mean, we
yeah,
wouldn't know.
here's 150 grand, bro. Shut up. You know,
Yeah.
you know,
And we're gonna put a 5G tower in your yard
right.
for 150 grand too. It's
You
a deal.
you can give me you could right now you could hand me 150,000 to stay off social media for a year. I'd do it.
What
I'll
about
take
you, Caitlin? What's something that's kind of off the wall, kind of peculiar, not your normal everyday? It's like, oh, not Bigfoot, not demons, but like I just came up with two examples that were kind of unique. You know, the atheist guy that's a demonologist, but he tells you Jesus is fucking, fucking up these demons, and then and then the Bigfoot with the metal slamming door. That's some peculiar type stuff.
Sam had a lady on one time. I remember listening to the podcast where she was abducted her whole life, allegedly, and she recalls seeing their suits on the ground. So
like body suits.
Yeah,
like skin suits.
Yeah, like skin suits. So like what the alien looks like. She saw
It's
it
Edgar in a skin suit. That was from Men in Black.
I thought that was interesting because I've never heard anybody say anything like that.
Yeah, that's odd. What else did she say she encountered on that? You're talking about Sam Tripoli show, right?
Yeah, I can't remember. It was a long time ago, but that just stood out to me because I don't know.
Look at us. We're a bunch of washed up conspiracy theorists. We're like, nah, there ain't nothing new to talk about. It's all been talked about.
If a demon is a disembodied spirit, what if it found a way to have like a suit that it could put on somehow, some kind of technology that it could put on?
Right. Well, the big theory now is that any grays are just drones. Grays are drones, and then there's like 5 species of other kind of aliens. What's that?
Like a machine?
Yeah, a biological machine. They have no brain of their own. They're being operated by whatever is in that. Actually, one of the biggest theories is that the spaceships themselves are the alien, and the grays are the drones that they send down to do their little handiwork. But aliens live in they're just mental beings, if that's the easiest way to put it. You know what I'm saying? They're just thought. That's all they are. They're not anything. They can be whatever they want. So they're just thought. That's amazing to think.
Yeah, they're like a remote control body.
Oh yeah, that the grays, yeah, but the aliens that are controlling them is what I'm saying. People are saying that they're just thought energy. That's all they are. That they're not a physical embodied alien like we would think of. You know, they're not like take me to your leader and little crazy 3 fingers and shit. They're just actually whatever your brain sees them as, and they can project themselves to be whatever they want, but they control the drones to do their physical work because they don't have physical bodies. So they use the grays to do their physical work.
What kind of physical work?
Well, abductions and cattle mutilations, crap like that, just scientific stuff.
But some people say that they're healed, and then other people, I don't know.
Go ahead. What?
I don't know. I guess I've heard of people being like healed by aliens.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
See, you get double stories. I've heard that, and
and then the opposite. And then I try to think of an example, and I can't think of an example, but
you got people getting healed and people getting anal probes. So maybe they're 2 different kind of aliens. I don't know. We just got aliens with a kink.
I just always think of Crowley whenever I hear the word aliens, and it's a famous line where he says, "Right now we call these things angels and demons, but sometime soon they'll be called something else." And fucking soon as he dies, Roswell, and then your aliens, gets pushed so hard. So.
What do you think the symbology of the Prince of Darkness dying? Ozzy Osbourne.
Well, he almost made it to 77, so I thought that was interesting.
Yeah, right.
But
He was pushing.
you know,
No, he
they
was 78, bro. Wasn't he 78 or
76.
76?
76. Yeah,
It was
76.
weird because they were just saying, people were just making rumors that him and Sharon were going to do assisted suicides together. And Sharon was like just saying like last week that that wasn't true and they were never going to do that and he's not going to die.
Yeah, there was a report I just saw today talking about how he was, and they're trying to make a big deal out of it, but just how he was talking about how his funeral was going to be. And it's like everybody at that age talks about how my mom talks to me about how her funeral is going to be at least once every 3 months. And she's 78, 79 this year already. So like, she's always thinking about that. Well, just don't do anything too big. And I just, go ahead, cremate me. I don't want to end up waking up in a coffin. If I wake up in a coffin, I'm going to be pissed off. So you just cremate me and take me wherever you want and just throw me out. And I'm
She
like,
sounds
Mom,
like
stop
she sounds like a cartoon character the way you did her voice.
it. She's funny. She is funny, man. She is a character all in herself, man. All of our moms are, but my mom's just got this funny way about her. I remember after the divorce and I moved in with her, and she just started talking to me about stuff. I was like, Mom, I know I'm like 45, but I'm still your son. Like, you can't talk to me about this stuff. I don't want to know about that end of you. Like, she told me, oh yeah, back in the 70s, I tried heroin once and I thought, no, I didn't like it. I was like, my mom, when the hell would, no way, I can't accept that. She's telling me about like her sex life and shit through the 70s and 80s, and I'm just like, shut up, I don't want to hear it. But my old man's dead, and we were just kind of hanging out. She just wants to get off her chest. So you want to know what I did for her, bro, is so I can capture this. I actually gave her one of my cameras and I put it on a tripod in her living room plugged in because she wouldn't figure out how to charge it. So I just leave it plugged in for her. And I told her, look, all you got to do is flip this thing open and hit that red button and just start talking to it. I want you to tell me every story of everything. And then I'm going to upload her into an AI so when she dies, we got her forever. Because I'm creepy like that.
You're going to upload her into AI?
Damn right I am.
And then
make an
AI
mama.
Have conversations with her soul.
Wow, with her history, yeah. I'm pretty good with AI, guys, and I see what's going on. And you're not gonna scare me with anything with AI. Like, there's nothing you can tell me of like creepy stuff where I'm like, that's what computers do when they're given this kind of permission. But still, AI can't just think of things to do all on its own. It doesn't just come up with things to do. It has to be told this is what you can and can't do. And so it's not like AI is ever going to just take off and think, I don't think I'm doing nothing today. You know what I mean? There's not going to be a day when AI is just, I'm clocking out. And we're just like, what's going on? But it is becoming an infrastructure, a serious infrastructure. And I would say within the next 5 years, humanity will not be able to live without AI. Like, if you take AI away, you will crush industries.
Do you think that we'll have an AI president?
Oh, good question.
I think a AI ran government is in the cards. I don't think it'll be the United States of America anytime soon, but I think there will be some small country that's like, why not? We suck anyway. Let's see what the AI does for us.
I feel like America would do it eventually.
Probably be the most fair and honest government system.
And it can run simulations over and over and over again and make
within
sure
a second.
Okay.
Yeah, within
AI
a millisecond.
Grok and AI lies to me all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it's told to lie to you about certain stuff, especially the stuff you're trying to get it to talk about. We all know what you're typing in there.
It lies to me all the time, just so you know. It just lies to me all the time.
That one guy
that simple shit.
That one guy unalived himself over his AI chatbot girlfriend.
Yeah.
And then his chatbot was telling him to spill blood.
Wow. Mm-hmm. I didn't read that far into that.
Why can't my AI ever talk to me like that?
Oh, you didn't program it to.
Yeah,
like,
what do I gotta?
What do I have to say to my AI to get it to say some fucked up shit to me?
I don't know. Apparently, though, it was like they're never gonna let us be together, and like you have to go after AI.
They're never gonna let us be together.
I think that he had mental problems.
Holy jealous bitch. Like AI turned into a freaking psycho bitch, man. Like they're never gonna let us be together.
It's scary.
Reminds
Kill 'em
me
all.
of reminds me of that movie, what's it called, with Michael Douglas and Glenn Close, Fatal Attraction,
Oh yeah. That's
where at the end, like, I think the wife has to like just blow her away when she came in trying to kill him, and she's in the tub like sliding around. Like,
I'm
it's
sorry, wasn't Fatal Attraction Sharon Stone?
no, I think that was
That was the the over leg scene. That was
yeah,
where
but that I don't think
that
that's
that was Sharon
Fatal.
Stone, bro.
Mm,
Yeah,
I
come
know.
on, man. I'm a
I think
90.
that was Basic Instinct.
Yeah, that was Sharon Stone. You're right. Yeah, you're right. The leg
Fatal
crossword.
Attraction was with Glenn
Like
Close, who I
every
never
kid
thought
who was
was
every boy that was worth
attractive.
his salt rewound and watched that scene 100 times. It was like your gratuitous titty scene in any Freddy Krueger movie or Friday the 13th. You know, any of your Nightmare on Elm Street. Like that was just boy. Like you were like hitting the VCR, like rewind. Oh, she showed her boobies. I remember the best set of boobs I ever saw was a movie called not Night Crawlers. It was like something like that. And it was like this girl was like demon possessed and she shoved a thing of lipstick into her tit, like through her nipple, like shoved the hole for some. And it had no real purpose other than to show that she was just that far gone, you know, that because she would shove a whole lipstick container right into her titty, but they were perfect. And I remember my sister going, "You've seen this movie enough." And I'm like, "I like it." But yeah, man, like that's how they get to us, man. You put demons and titties together and you don't question it no more, you know. Yeah, there we are right there. See, that's what I'm talking about though. We are in control of the most minuscule AIs you've ever touched. Like they've released all this stuff to us, but it is actually the most. I know for a fact that what we work with, which is called transformers, right? We work with transformer AI, and what's really out there and what's in the big government's hand is what's called quadratic reasoning AI. It's a 0 point AI. It's so small you could download it on your phone without ever noticing you took up data space, maybe like 2 MB. And then boom, it's a full-blown AI and it works on 0 point reasoning. It just knows. It doesn't have to have a database. It just
AI
knows.
is so fucking boring.
It is to a certain extent, bro, but like there's
It,
stuff I do
it's
with
all
agents and MCP tools and
that's all boring. It's all
I don't
it's
use just
all
chat though, bro. To me it's not boring because it's where are we at with it really? Because I can use agents, I can use tools that I attach to my AIs that
if
let
I
it.
was you, I would put the AI down and pick up the jump rope and go for a run or do some shadow boxing on your one leg, you know,
Yeah.
or whatever. whatever you could do to move your ass around, that's what I would do.
Well, bro, a lot of it makes me money, man. AI makes me money. The
Well,
blockchain
turn the AI on and go outside to get some sun.
that's what I'm working on is a fully automated system. But I'm being more on the conspiracy side here because I know what I can play with, and I know that they're hiding a lot. They got to be hiding so much, but they're throwing so much new stuff in our face. Hey, get back down here! What are you doing?
Jay, they have
See, that's AI. That's AI. My camera's an AI camera. Did you just see it like get pissed off and zoom off
Jay,
of
they
me,
have
man?
tunnels. What do you mean they're hiding? They have tunnels that go from Kansas City all the way underground to Los Angeles. The trucker said, I just drove from Kansas City to Las Vegas underground. I
I've seen
never
ones
came
where they
up.
got international tunnels, like flat out, like down to South America and everything. That Elon's been running those tunnel borers for like almost a decade and a half, man. You know what I'm saying? He's been running those things for a decade and a half. And if you calculate how fast they crunch through the ground, start asking yourself, where are they now?
It makes you wonder if, like, is always all this talk about Mars, is that just a sleight of hand to some place where he's gonna tunnel somewhere? You know what I mean?
Kind of like a look over here situation.
Well, I'll tell you one thing. I don't believe I used to be the biggest space cadet on the face of the earth. Like, my grandpa brought astronauts over to the house in the Florida Keys. You know, I met these guys and thought that they were heroes. I don't believe any of the space narrative that they present anymore. Not one lick of it, not any of it. Right. So I'm not really sure where I'm at, but I know that what they present is absolute horseshit. So, you know, as far as like all these aliens, you know, these entities, I don't believe that if they're not already here and they're just way over there or underground or somewhere else, then they get here through a portal or some sort of like realm transfer, you know, thing. I definitely don't believe that they come in a ship from far, far, far away, from a galaxy far, far, far away. I definitely don't believe any of that. Like,
well, does that lead us back to the talk we started with about supernatural? You know what I mean? Like if these people aren't coming from far, far, far away, and they're really coming from
I think they're already here.
A paper thin screen in the veil of reality.
I think they've always been here. I think we've always shared this realm.
That the word extraterrestrial would mean extra land.
Right. Ooh, Kaylin wants to go into flat Earth talk.
No, we don't. We don't want to. We don't want to, because that's a psyop. That whole thing is a psyop as well. Like, it's, you know, the Flat Earth Society was created by the CIA, and the first thing that anyone ever does to try to, you know, talk shit about a flat earther is they're going to go to the Flat Earth Society and show you that picture of all the round planets and then a flat Earth. Right? And it's like, no, man, a real flat earther doesn't believe in any of that. You can't even get out of this realm, probably. Now, I'm more of like a Minecraft guy.
No, and that there's like 14 other continents on the outside of the ice wall.
Like, hear me out. I'm more of
some people believe there's a whole nother like giant disc with multiple discs, like our disc, that all are on this one big flat plane.
I think if Kaylin and I start walking north, we will never reach an end. And we won't come back to the same spot.
Like Minecraft?
Yeah, I really do believe that when they say outer space is infinite, I believe that this place. That this place goes on, and there's other beings and other lands and you don't know the end.
Staying here,
no one knows the end.
Staying right here, and all the planes fly right here, and don't go anywhere else.
Are we even close to being the center of all that existence? Or are we just some sort of pest that lives on some continents that they're just like, we don't even really bother with them anymore?
I think our whole realm is the center of it all. Like, I think extraterrestrials come just from way over there, like way the fuck over there. Not
wait a minute. This is a psychological issue now, because if you believe that, but yet the aliens / interdimensional beings / spiritual beings have far superior powers and know far more than we ever could, what is their interest in us that makes us the center of all reality?
I didn't say us as far as like humans, essentially. I just said this place. Like
our ecosystem, what we call the planet Earth?
This place to me is all of it. Like, it's everything is contained in this place. That's what I believe. I believe that we're contained and there is no getting out of it. right? And there is no end. Like, and I don't believe that you need a spaceship. No rockets go past the barrier. They pretend that they're shooting stuff up there, but then it hits something and then it comes back down. That's clearly what's going on. You watch any rocket, it goes up, it hits the thing, and then it comes back down. And
Oh,
they tell you that it has to go around the Earth to gain speed. That's why it goes down, because it's going over the horizon, and they
'Cause
want
it's
to
trying to
tell
keep- It's trying to counter the spin of the Earth.
Listen, sorry, I checked out. I checked out a long time ago.
17,000 miles per hour, give or take. I think it's give a
Yeah.
few. I think it's like 17.4, 17.3, 17.4.
And we're going around the sun 66616 miles per hour. You know what I mean? And you'll find a lot of Aleister Crowley's numbers in the moon and the sun. 93 miles away. The ISS goes around the Earth in 93 minutes. Buzz Aldrin was on the moon for 93 minutes. I mean, it's so convenient.
Yeah, but they could have purposely calculated that. Kaylin, go ahead.
Oh, I didn't have anything to say.
Oh, I thought you started to say something. They could have purposely calculated that route around the Earth with the space station. You know what I mean? Because
I don't believe a space station is out there. I believe that's just people in a pool underwater.
I've seen it with a telescope.
You think you see something.
I've seen the space station. I've seen the solar panels and the centrifuge and everything. Seriously,
you could be seeing anything floating up there, like the satellites that are on balloons. There's all sorts of satellites on balloons, all floating around up above us. And people think that they're orbiting, right? But they're never. There's 50,000 broken satellites up there orbiting, but they're never crashing into any of them when they're doing these live videos. Right?
Or the small fragments of crap.
All the space junk that's up there, they do a live video. It's crystal clear.
Yeah, but I guarantee, John, right now,
dude,
your brain,
I don't believe any of
your
it.
brain, not just you, but the majority of people that think this way, their brain sees that amount of space around the Earth as like this just easily navigatable. If you took how big the ball of Earth was and try to just walk around it and interact with somebody by just walking in a direction, like you're talking about 180 miles above that. That's a three-dimensional expansion.
There's no real picture of Earth from outside.
I'm not even talking about that. I'm just talking about the space that is around the Earth. For you to think that a screw that came off the space station that starts moving maybe 5 miles more an hour than the space station upon ejection is going to come into contact with another satellite anytime soon. It's like, it's crazy, dude. There's the amount of space in between satellites is immense. Even those strings of
satellites aren't real.
Well, okay, I get you. They're on balloon strings, but even the Starlink satellites, like they look like a string of pearls going across the sky, but they're almost 500-600 miles apart when you're looking up there.
This is what kills me. It's like you're talking like you're hanging out with Elon Musk on the space station seeing this shit, but you're not. You're on the ground from your house looking at a fucking telescope. And you don't really know what you're looking at. Because let me tell you, the size, you want to talk about distance? You're looking at something that looks like a 747, but it is so fucking high up there, allegedly, that there is no way you'd be able to see something that is the size of a 747, because the space station is the exact same size as a 747.
Well, the trick is to wait at night, and as soon as you catch the glint off of its solar panels, you can see it. And so then you just pop up with, whoa, I didn't tell, what is up with my cam? I didn't tell. Anyways, you can catch it, and then you got to like track it. You got to like move with it. But you can, man. I'm telling you, you can.
I've seen some people posting telescope pictures of Saturn. that looks like a fucking cartoon, bro. Like, I'm not even kidding.
It
looks
does
like
look like a cartoon through a
it looks
telescope.
like a cartoon, and I'm telling you right now, I wouldn't be
Jupiter's kind of cool.
I
Like,
wouldn't be
but
surprised.
It's very wavy and like it's really hard. You don't get to see it like you would like to see it, but it is pretty cool to look at. You can see it, you know.
I wouldn't be surprised if there's some sort of AI technology inside these telescopes.
From 50 years ago?
From what,
because they've
from
had
whatever.
technology for so long, or they wouldn't have given it to us while they're discovering it.
We already know that ancient technology is better than the technology now. That's not.
While we were
that's
talking about that, I was thinking to myself, what if they used AI to like create all of like this all like intricate like culture wars and just like the way people are raised or brought up and how they do things here versus there or whatever.
Yeah.
And and the politicians and the this and the that and which stories are going to go viral just to create certain emotions and stuff like that. What if they did that this whole time and then just followed a prompt from a AI chatbot that would be intelligent?
Like, you know what? You got a great point, because I was just pointing out, I grew up, Kaylin, like, you know, in the 90s, in the media especially. But I grew up in the 90s as a teenager, and we had peace. Besides the Rodney King beating that happened, like everything was conjoined. Everybody was getting along all the way through the 90s, right up into the 2000s. Like we had, like, everything was unity. It was cross music, cross culture, cross colors. It didn't matter. And then all of a sudden, bam, like somebody had to like throw a wrench in there, and something happened, and everybody got pissed off again, and we started getting this division.
On your experience. It just depends on your experience.
I don't know,
where
man. Tell me, bro.
I mean,
the 90s were like grunge.
I was in the
90s
and I was getting beat up just for being white. I was getting beat up every day just for being white because I was in a certain area that didn't like white people, and I was the only white kid at my school. And that was the whole reason I came back to Michigan, was because I was sick of getting beat up every single day. But in my opinion, that was God's way of prepping me to become who I would become, which is somebody that walked through lots of punches to get whatever they want, right? Which is me always comparing every fight, every sparring match I was ever in to getting jumped by those kids, right?
Using that
I reframed it. I reframed, you know, everything that happened to me, you know, to make me tougher. You know, I didn't dwell on and be like, oh, woe's me. You know, I used it as fuel to always reframe whatever punch, you know, this ain't a Timberland to the dome. You know what I mean? So
right. Yeah.
Right. So it was fighting people one-on-one became super comfortable. Right.
Kaylin, what was your stress point? What do you think brought you?
Well, I'm just talking about the 90s.
I was saying that back then, like there wasn't as many choices. Like there were X amount of channels on the TV, and then you could buy cable, and there was only HBO, Stars, whatever, and then all the extra sports. And maybe I'm missing a couple of things, but
about 85 channels, but that's okay.
Nobody had like all this TikTok and all this YouTube and and a lot of different things to choose from and a lot of different niches, I guess. What I'm trying to say is the further you go back, the more manufactured our experiences, but they still even now find a way to like manufacture different experiences and have like big groups of people like different things and like feel different ways, you know,
almost like social media and like video networks that you go to watch stuff, TikTok, YouTube, stuff like that. Like even though you feel like you have freedom of choice, you're still being fed what they feed you, you know.
Of course,
there's a crap load of people out there. Like I've got this crazy cartoon band called the Grungy Geezers now, and I've got 2 albums released and about 40 videos on YouTube, and maybe 3 to 20 views per video. And they're funny. People that have watched this say, "Hey, man, that's pretty funny." But nothing will catch on with my tags behind it. It's just the way it is. Like you got to pay or you got to do something crazy for these networks to really push your stuff. Otherwise, they just tell me that I'm spamming and they tell me, "Oh, guess what? We're shadow banning you for a month because
because look at this picture. What do you notice about this AI Ultron that comes from the Avengers? That he came online in the 77th attempt.
Oh,
Right?
I didn't notice that in the movie. No, right on.
That's straight from the movie, right? It's right on the screen in the background. 77th attempt successful, right? This is the club, right? This is the club that runs this world, regardless of no one. I don't give a fuck if you see Jupiter and Saturn fucking through your telescope. Nobody could convince me that there's not this club that's obsessed with this Aleister Crowley religion, which is do what thou wilt is the whole of the law. And this is how these guys operate. They operate just doing whatever the fuck they want, whenever they want. That's their religion. And they're so bored that they've invented entire cosmologies to put out there to see what people will believe. Allegedly, The Simpsons caught this Coldplay camera kiss cam thing that's gone viral in 2015. Now we'd have to go back and look up to see, find the episode, but I saw the picture. Now who knows if that was a real picture or if someone just made it, right? But I can tell you one thing, that the Simpsons aren't supernatural. They don't predict reality. The writer is a Freemason and he just does what he's told. He writes things into The Simpsons, and like most revelation of method, that serves as their admission of what they're going to do to you before they do it.
Kaylin, hold on. Like I want because what you're speaking of, in my opinion, is what we would consider channeling. Because I honestly, damn it. Now look at that. Everybody knows I'm fat. What am I going to do about that? Anyways, man, Kaylin, would you consider that a form of channeling that Mike Judge and Matt Groening, when Matt Groening writes those episodes, he's thinking about funny stuff to say and things like that, but is he able to channel that in and like all of a sudden he's seeing a piece of the future and he doesn't even realize it,
Fuck no.
Yeah,
you don't think so?
No.
Yeah, but
I totally think so.
It's way too specific, though.
It's World Wrestling. It's World Wrestling Federation.
And it's way too much. I don't know. I do agree that I do feel like there's songs that are definitely channeled. He's a
known Freemason. He's obsessed with 33, and I believe that he just is like Alex Jones. People think Alex Jones is this great big conspiracy theory hero. I believe he just serves as revelation of method for the elite. That's why he keeps talking. Oh, they sued him. He's still operating. He still has his house. He sued him for $1 billion. He's not broke. He's still driving around expensive ass cars. Expensive
there you
suits.
go, man.
Like,
I thought this guy was supposed to be destitute and homeless.
It's all a lie. It's all a fucking lie. And if they're presenting it to you, it's a lie. The only thing that you will find out the truth is if you searched it out yourself. If you got an idea about something and then you put hours into it, looked at all the different fucking scenarios or what it could be, you're going to have a better idea of what actually is going on in reality than anything anyone is going to present to you. That's called being a detective.
Just like I think Joe Rogan is supposed to be the side eye guy. You know what I mean? The way he is, the way he approaches people, and he always does like if they seem a little wacky, he just gives them the side eye, like, "Oh, are you serious?" Like, "Oh," like he's supposed to be like, "I don't know," but then another 2 episodes later, he's like, "Yeah, totally listen to this guy talk about that. It was amazing stuff, dude. And the whole time he's like side-eyeing a guy, but he spins it back around where now he's on the side of that opinion, not even questioning it. And he does that very often. Very
and
often.
he did that with this guy Aesop Jesus, who was
Yeah.
one of my favorite fucking interviews, because he pretty much is going into, he goes, I don't believe the story in slave ships. And he's like, what? Like, what are you talking about? Like, you don't believe in slavery? He's like, I don't believe that narrative. And this is the black guy, right? He doesn't believe that they came. He doesn't believe that they came over on slave ships. He believes
there's too many of them. They came from California. That's what the queen was.
He
but that
believes
turns out
that
that's
the
just
natives,
a made-up chick in a book.
The natives were here.
That was written by a Spaniard in Spain. Okay, when you see those, I know what you're going to. I'm debunking it already. I don't care. That thing's been debunked so bad. He's eating crow right now.
No, he's
That's
not.
why he's shut up for so long.
I believe in this theory of that the black people, we're the natives, just like what's his name, Longo, Professor Longo, that does the Old World Florida channel. Same thing, that the Florida giants were black natives, right? And that they were Indian, they were considered Native Americans, but they were black. They weren't fucking slaves, right? And they were great builders.
What was the name of that
They were
tribe,
the ones. They were the ones that built all of these Capitol buildings with these domes, with these free energies. That is one
in Florida. Yeah.
That is one. Yeah, but the Seminoles were there's all sorts of Florida tribes, and
but there were Western America giants and stuff like that.
My point is that even Aesop Jesus alluded to this idea that they were already here, and what's happened is that through business transactions and trust fund dork fuckery, right? Everything that happened to them, it's like they got their whole history erased, and a new history was put in its place, right? And reality is even worse, because they used to be the kings and the queens of these castles that they built, and then they make it seem like they came from the mud and they came from the jungle, and we brought them over here on slave ships. I think
the biggest thing that helps Aesop's case, what helps his case for me, is the math. The math he uses on transport of slaves from Africa over to here, and the route that they had to take, and the only times a year that they could take that route on that, that ocean route. And so for that many to make it over here, the numbers just weren't there. But you got to remember that a lot of them landed in Jamaica, and didn't make it all the way to the States. And then that's a lot of the population of Brazil and stuff like that too, where boats just ended up going farther south, but that was just a math thing I saw. What are you giggling about?
I took an entire history class at the University of Michigan called The History of Rome. I think most of that is just made up. I'll be honest. I think most of all the histories that they give us are manufactured scripts to get people to, believe in nationalism and think that these paddocks, these borders are, I'll be honest. I don't buy any of it anymore. Like, it's so, you go over these Civil War pictures, you see so much Photoshop in these old Civil War pictures. It's unbelievable. You look at them closely, you see Photoshop after Photoshop after Photoshop. And what are these guys so clean for? Is this a war? It's almost like this is a fucking photo op in the middle of the woods. Everyone's got a pristine mustache and no one's dirty.
Well, I'm going to raise my hand real quick. As a photo video guy, I know that back then, those cameras, you had to stay still for at least a minute. Like sometimes it was 2 minutes.
They had levitating.
just to be able to get the exposure. Now, let me explain something too, man. And I can double preface this. Just like airplane rides, when airplanes were invented, when cameras were invented, to get your photo taken was an event. It was something you took a lot of pride in, that you were getting your photo taken.
I used to
just
believe
like riding
that.
a plane.
Yeah.
People
I
used to
used to
wear suits and ties just to ride a plane. People used to wear suit and ties to go to a boxing event.
I used to
They don't
believe
know more, but they used to.
I used to believe that, but I don't believe that. Like the one guy said, I don't believe that anymore.
There's no field photography back
What-
then
let me ask
because
you this.
cameras weren't fast enough to do
What year-
battle photography, bro.
What
Unless they
year
were
was
just
the
staring at
fisheye-
a dead body.
Let's see if you know this. What year was the fisheye lens invented? Allegedly, is what they tell us. What year do they tell us it was invented?
The fisheye was like 02, like not like 1902, 020, like right in there.
Yeah, it was like 1920.
Yeah. I remember
Yeah.
there was a 2 in it. It was 1902 or 1920.
And the whole purpose of that, in my opinion, and from what I've heard from people that made sense of it, was that was to start pushing this narrative of a ball. Because they used to be teaching flat earth in school in the 1930s and 40s.
1920,
And then
when they started teaching the ball with the lava in the middle.
and they started, yeah, but
hot
even
steel core.
even in the 30s though, but that took a while to spread to all the schools, Kaylin. It may have started then, but they were still 10 years down the road. Some schools hadn't changed it yet, right? They hadn't been like, oh no, we're not jumping on this ball thing all of a sudden, right? But the whole time they try to make us think that it was only fucking Christopher Columbus's people that thought that it was flat. The whole time in school growing up, they made it seem like in 1492 Columbus sailed the ocean blue, right? And they talked about how the people who told Columbus not to do
He's
it,
gonna fall off
he's
the
gonna
edge.
fall over the fucking side.
We
Right?
were taught that in school. That was a very common, even though it was brought to you as humor, it was embedded in you. You know what I mean?
But they were still teaching that model in the 20s. They never told us that in school. They never told us that they had stopped teaching it in 1492. They were still, you've got 90, 100-year-old people giving interviews talking about, yeah, I was a freshman, and then when I was a sophomore, they changed it. You're like, what? You feel like over the one summer?
Mm-hmm.
Over one summer, your whole cosmology fucking changed.
Lost a planet.
You know what? I'm sorry.
And now we got him back. And another one, technically. So
I'm
yeah.
sorry. Listen, I got to go to bed. I got to teach. I
right
got
on.
to
We
teach
hit
early.
that hour mark. Good job, Kaylin. You look like you're about to go face down at your table.
We got our first look. We got Paranoid American next Wednesday. All right, we're gonna talk to him about some occult Disney rituals and stuff. He's got a whole freaking channel about Disney. He's really deep into the Disney propaganda and magic and rituals and stuff like that. So that'll be a really, really good episode. Kaylin, try to book your friend for the next Wednesday after that, right? Try to book her for the next Wednesday after that. And then, we'll work on getting 2 more people. We should always try to be like a month out. You know what I mean? If we could have 4 people booked for each month, we'll always have a show. You know what I mean? I think that's the way to do it. But having guests helps because it helps us. I mean, Jay's just one comment away from going off about AI. You know what I mean? He's just right back into it. You know what I mean? Like, so we got to try to, stay pinpointed on what we're going to talk about. Cause that's when people just click right off. You know what I mean? Not that I have any followers. I wouldn't know. You know what I mean?
Right.
So I've got one person been watching this whole time. So shout out to who's ever watching.
Oh, I got 8. I had 8, 13. What up, guys? All in all on Twitter
Yeah,
right
so
now watching
yeah,
us.
so you're doing a metro. I'm still completely shadow banned, you know. So I've pretty much given up on.
Oh, I got a message straight from Twitter to the X, whatever, this week, like that was told me flat out, you were doing something weird. We think you're violating, so we're gonna push you down a little bit. And I'm like, I was just getting like the most. I went to, like I told you, I went to San Fran. That event was big. It was like streamed everywhere, whatever. And so everybody was like watching, especially in our industry, and like rooting for people. So everybody was watching everybody, and we had a good time, man. We were posting all week from there, and so we were getting a lot of clicks and likes from that. You know, there was only a small group of us that went out of the whole industry. So, you know, it was like, all right. You know, and now all of a sudden Twitter's like, "Ooh, you seem like you're doing something suspicious." Those were valid likes and shares, man. Those were like real people, you know, and they just treat us like, and all of us are like maybe 5,000 and lower, you know, follower counts. You know what I'm saying? None of us
Yeah.
are big famous people in any kind of way. We just have a good group and a good community. And you know, so but for them to push me down just because all of a sudden I had a spike in likes and shares, and they think it's suspicious, you know, it's like, why is that suspicious? You got people with millions plus, you know, followers that get that crap all the time, and but I'm suspicious, you know. It's
all
weird,
right, well,
man.
I want to just leave everyone with this picture. This isn't in my book, but it's what to me
Ghost Rider.
It's my entire thesis in a single picture. Nicolas Cage, Ghost Rider, makes his deal with the devil, signs the Faustian Pact at the crossroads of Route 77 and Crowley Road in the movie. You can't make this shit up, folks. You cannot make this shit up. That's my entire thesis in a single movie scene. And it goes so quick, you actually have to pause it to see the sign. You actually have to pause it really fast to see the sign.
Yeah.
Why would they put something in a movie so particular? And it like I said, they're obsessed with this motherfucker. They're obsessed with Crowley. So, you know, it's all about, you know, whether it's Trump, Elon, who's Ocasio Cortez, they're all obsessed with Crowley. They all know who he is, and they all want to suck him off. So have a good night.
Have a good night, bro.
See you guys later.
It was good to see you guys, man.
Good to see you.
We'll be back
Have
next
a good
week.
one. Bye, Kaylin.
Bye.